Hi parents and guardians, I just wanted to offer up a quick video that will walk you through our key success criteria for our data management math unit. Take a look at the performance task that students completed the other day. They were asked to survey 30 cars and observe whether or not they obeyed or disobeyed the stop sign outside of our school. They used bundles of 5 or tally marks to easily skip count their answers. 5 cars, or a bundle of 5 over here, obeyed the stop sign. 25 cars, or 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 tally marks representing the cars, disobeyed the stop sign outside of our school. I asked students to go ahead and ensure that they maintain an accurate count. 5 plus 25 does indeed equal 30, which is the correct number of cars that they were to survey. Students were then asked to take those tally marks and place them within a bar graph. The first key thing that I want to point out, and I discuss this quite a bit with students, is to include the words who, what, where, when, why, and how in the corner, and ensure that a title fulfills all of the answers to those questions. I also suggested starting off their title by describing what type of graph it is that they are building. So in this case here, it's a bar graph, so might as well start their graph off with the words, a bar graph that shows, that's highlighted in pink, choices that cars or drivers made at the intersection outside of SJM Public School on September 18, 2018. Survey by Drucker 2-3. You'll notice that that fulfills all of the answers to who, what, where, when, why, and how. In pink, along the y-axis, I've included the words number of. That's a good sentence starter that can help describe the subtitle along the y-axis. In pink, choices could be a good word to start off the x-axis. In this case, choices that drivers made. I suggested to start the scale at 0 and to take a look at the range of the data. It turns out that 25 happens to be the highest data set that was collected. Thus, their scale must at least cover from 0 to 25, if not further. We tried skip counting by 2s to see if that could fulfill it. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, all the way up to 26. They then fulfilled the subtitles beneath the x-axis, obey and disobey. I had them quickly mark the top part of their lines, of their bars, and candy stripe going downward. Some students like to take quite an amount of time to really expertly shade things in, but unfortunately that does delay them in terms of their completion of the graph. Students were then asked to transfer their collected information about cars that obeyed or disobeyed our intersection and place that information into a pictograph. I once again suggested starting off their title with a term or a phrase that describes what kind of graph it is. In this case here, a pictograph that shows, and I made mention of the fact that the title for this pictograph should read exactly the same as the title of their bar graph. None of the who, what, where, when, why, and how changed. They are to pay attention to their key. In this case here, a circle was to represent 2 cars. 2, 4, and a half would represent the 5 cars that obey. So they must skip count appropriately to represent their scale that's shown in the key. I then asked students to go ahead and reflect upon their observations. Turns out that the most likely result based upon their observations was that drivers will disobey the stop sign and the law. The least likely result based upon their observations that they could deduce is that drivers will obey the stop sign and the law. They recorded the number of votes on this page. For the short answer portion of the next page, I asked students to remind themselves to UWQSA. That stands for use the words in the question to start their answer. Did you expect the results that you received? Now, using the words in the question to start your answer, they could respond. For example, I expected the results that I received. Why or why not? Notice that we included some check boxes here to note that this is indeed a 2-part question. I expected drivers to disobey because I have been driving for 20 years and I frequently see drivers disobeying. I also know that there are very few police officers stationed at intersections watching drivers. So you'll notice that I've checked off and fulfilled both answers to this two-part question. Students are also to remember to OPP, or apply our proofreading plan, to ensure that their math work, their math short responses, are coherent. Remember, students are to grab a highlighter and read their work backwards, highlighting words that are misspelled. Then they are to read it forwards out loud, checking for capital and punctuation, and to make sure that their work makes sense. Part 3 of OPP, or our proofreading plan, is to utilize a writer's toolkit. Within the writer's toolkit are some math pages that can assist with certain math words, and we as teachers typically refer to this as math language, that we are looking to have them include within their responses. Thanks for listening. I hope this tutorial helped you.